All right, all right. Here we go again, people. Excited to see a lot of you here already. Right at the beginning of this live stream, topic tackle. What's good, people? JC3 here. Game number 4, 2020. NBA Finals. Let's get that up here. Of course, I'm going to go through my monologue, and then, like we've always been doing, I'm going to post a Zoom link in the chat. We're going to get this conversation going. I see a lot of the regulars out here. Shout out Mark Robertson, Dennis Indiritu, Philly Willie. I see Andrew up here now. George Williamson, I do remember the old account. What's up, bro? You probably remember my old account name, George Williamson. Yep, I used to always tune in to the post-finals live streams and love it. Glad you're back out here again. Definitely a shout out. And I'm going to get right into my monologue before I send out the Zoom link so we can all get in here and talk about this game. Lakers Heat Game 4. The Lakers are now up 3-1. The infamous 3-1 lead. LeBron, famous for coming back from it. Other teams famous for blowing that lead. But now the Heat have a chance to turn the tables on LeBron. But this game, they came out with Bam Adebayo back in the lineup. This is part of my notables. And Dragic, he warmed up, but the torn plantar fascia just made it unable for him to go. There was a video that kind of went semi-viral before the game of just the pain you could see kind of in his face and his eyes, giving it his all, but unable to be out there for the team. All right, cool. I'm just like I said too, if this is the first time you watch this stream, I am monitoring production and I'm speaking at the same time. So I'm on-air personality and I'm monitoring production. So let me know if everything's good, the audio, visual, everything lines up, everything like that. Leave it in the chat. For the Lakers tonight, the first quarter, that was KCP's quarter for LLA. He had 10 points in the quarter. Really was able to fight back against a lot of the slander that has been coming against him this postseason. Make sure that's everything's good right there. Yeah, cool. All right. Yeah, so the Lakers in the first quarter, though, they had 7 turnovers. That was just 3 less than last game, which was their season high for a quarter. They had 10 turnovers in the first quarter of game 3, 7 tonight, so it wasn't the best of starts for them. Miami, they officially abandoned the zone in the first half, and I think for the majority, the game and their man defense, man, that really caused problems for LeBron. He had a fair amount of turnovers in that first half. I believe he had 5 turnovers in the first half. They brought sufficient help. They avoided mismatches, so they did everything that they had to do as a unit defensively. The Lakers, they led still at the half, though, despite LeBron having only 8 points and shooting 37% field goal shooting from the field. AD had just 8 points as well at the half. There wasn't really a standout performer from either team at this point. The Lakers led by 2 at the half. It was a close game throughout, and as I was watching a lot of the second half, I was having a hard time figuring out what is going to be the lead for this video. What's going to be the headline? I'm not really sure what to make of it. I ended up titling the video after LeBron being 1 win away, because I think that's really what you get out of this. KCP stepped up. It was a close game throughout. The Lakers took the largest lead of the game at 7 points. They had a 7-point lead around the 2:30 mark in the third quarter. The Lakers, they led after 3, and this is another big point I wanted to bring up. Probably could have made a headline. This would be like the sub-headline if we were writing this. They're 55-0 this season when leading going into the fourth, and they made it 56-0 tonight. Around the 2:50 mark in the fourth, I thought this was a crucial point in the game. And it's a shot that, a Kevin Durant, a Steph Curry, maybe a Kawhi Leonard makes. But Jimmy Butler, with the Heat down 90-88, he misses a pull-up corner 3. Now, if you remember that was around the 2:50 mark in the fourth quarter. He misses the pull-up corner 3, would have put the Heat up 91-88. Instead, Lakers rebound. LeBron hits KCP for the corner 3. That puts him up 93-88. That's a 6-point swing, and that is a huge part, critical turning point in this game, because from there on out, KCP drives, gets a right-handed layup. Duncan Robinson tries to chase down, unable to get it. He hits a clutch basket in crunch time. KCP, shout out to him. Like I said, rejecting the slander tonight, doing what he's had to do for LA. They paid him a lot of money, and he's coming in clutch for them tonight. Jimmy Butler, he had the in-air assist to Crowder for 3 with 1:37 to go. That was a great play. Tyler Hero had it. He passed it down to Butler, who caught it midair, passed it to Crowder, but it was just a little too late, as LeBron is now just 1 win away from ring number 4. I already saw Dennis in the chat. He said, come ready with the stats. Come ready with everything tonight. So you know what? We are ready. I'm going to go ahead and get this Zoom link out. I appreciate you, Angie, for telling me the video and audio is good. So anything else you want to put in the live chat, go ahead and leave it there right now, and keep your eyes on the live chat, because I am going to go ahead and start out a Zoom right now. I'm going to get the link, get it on out, and we're going to get this thing going here. All right, so Mark, yeah, you were one of the first ones to say this could be a potential 3-1 lead blown, and it's kind of hard at this point not to recognize that as a potential reality.
So
could you see that happening?
I mean, I'm really baffled by some of the choices that Eric Spoelstra made tonight. I think he kind of is personally, it could happen if he wasn't relying on people that aren't performing. Because they have at least 3 other good guys on their bench that they could be playing, instead of the 3 that played on the bench. Because we had Kelly Olynyk, who played 12 minutes, went 1 for 4, did not have a good night. We had Nunn, who was just throwing up buckets and was not making really anything. 2 for 11. Iguodala was out there, got a steal, went 1 for 3. But you still have like a Derek Jones Jr. Why did they just bench Myers Leonard? Like, what is Spoelstra's problem against Leonard? Like, I feel like they're just not using him.
Yeah, I had a feeling you'd bring up Myers tonight too, because the minutes, again, his minutes have been kind of up and down all postseason. Actually, the fact that he even played in Game 3, the amount of minutes that he did, albeit not that much, is a surprise. But no, he's definitely an asset for them. And I was thinking, I go, you know what? I bet throughout watching this game, I bet Mark is going to bring up something about Leonard not getting the minutes. That's another thing. DNP, coach's decision. I don't know. He has a pretty tight lineup. Only 8 guys tonight. Philip, did you want to piggyback on the Leonard thing, or did you have anything else that kind of stood out to you from a matchups perspective tonight?
I completely agree with Mark on this one. Leonard brings a lot of the energy, even if he gets, like, let's say Dwight Howard's minutes, which I think Dwight Howard barely played like an entire quarter.
Played 7.
He played. Oh, okay. Yeah, like Dwight Howard brings in energy, and he continues having that energy on the bench, and I believe that, having that sort of flow with that energy does certainly contribute towards like the overall flow of the game. So I actually agree with Mark on this one. Plus, like, Leonard, his skill set isn't that different from, from Kelly Olynyk, my bad. Construct 3-ball, a little bit of ball handling, playmaking, rebounding, just another big body to throw at AD. Bam out of
Yeah, absolutely.
Bam out his back.
Yeah. One of the things, I don't know, I might have failed to bring this up on my monologue, but I did write this down. The fourth quarter, man, the Heat were just getting killed on the offensive boards by the Lakers.
Like,
I know some of them were like going to Rondo, but like they were getting killed on that. And that's a situation where you can bring in Leonard, you can bring in another big body, because it was the classic lineup. It was Bam, and Bam is kind of undersized to begin with for a center. So you have him, you have Crowder at the 4 and trying to rebound against Morris and Davis. So it was like Game 1 situation with the big bodies, all at them, all same thing in this game. So bringing in Leonard could have helped right there. They do have some more bigs that they could have utilized, but like I say, that's just a coaching decision. And in a game where 102-96, that's a 6-point loss. I mean, second chance points definitely play a factor into that, and so that's got to be something they consider. Maybe kind of a last-second on-the-fly adjustment to save the series. Dennis, I'll go ahead and ask you to unmute here, man. Hopefully everything's good for you now.
Oh, yeah. Had some technical issues, but I sorted it out.
Okay, sorted it out. All right, so LeBron, you think he's going to sort out this 4th ring in the 5th game? What's going on through your head here?
Okay, based on what I saw in the last game, in today's game, I actually stayed up and watched the game. I set up the alarm, so it woke me up. I just went in and just watched the whole game. Didn't miss it.
Nice.
So based on the way the Heat play tonight, I think it's going to be Lakers in 6. Okay, I'm not saying that the Lakers aren't going to close out, because I wanted them to close out in 5, but based on the way we're playing, I don't know. Lakers in 6. Lakers in 6. If the supporting cast doesn't show up, I don't know, man. I'll just put 6 games.
Yeah, so it took a 15-point effort on 50% from the floor, 3 threes tonight from KCP. And, if you think about this, like if he doesn't, oh, and by the way, I'm going to get this out the way before you guys make a comment. Jared Dudley and J.R. Smith did not play tonight. So they lost a lot there. But anyway,
But
KCP.
Alex Caruso played.
Mhm.
Alex Caruso did play. He did play. He got 7. But KCP, 15 points. I mean, and the efficient field goal shooting, you can't really expect that out of him every night. And so, you take off. You could say this about anybody, but if you take off just 2 of those threes, that's 6 points. The game's tied. So he had to come in and step up. So possibly, if he doesn't do that again next game, or if they don't have some type of unsung hero or X factor, however you want to say it, it could very well get pushed to a game 6. So Mark, in the next game, besides the Heat implementing Leonard more possibly, is there one like last second on the fly adjustment you would want them to make? That's for Mark. That's for anybody.
No,
if you have any suggestions for Heat.
I mean, I would still at least. I mean, last game, why not try that Twin Towers suggestion that we had last stream? But I'm kind of wondering, like, has Jones Jr. just like not been good in the bubble? Because why are they not playing him? That dude is so like quick and strong. I don't know why they're not playing him.
Yeah, well, I think earlier in the playoffs, and you know what? I'm not even saying, I may be mistaken, because I believe him getting injured. Now, I don't know how serious it was, but they're keeping him out for a reason. And, in one of those games, he did suffer an injury, I think very early on, maybe even in his seeding play. So that could play a factor into this. Yeah. But anyway, so if it fell on you, Philip, put yourself in the shoes of Spoelstra. We talk about one adjustment for the Heat. And you know what? Before I even pose the same question to you, they did adjust with defensively tonight. They went away from the zone entirely, and their defense proved to be more effective, at least in the first half on LeBron, causing them to have 5 turnovers. They brought adequate help. So they've made some defensive adjustments. So I guess a rephrasement of the question would be, is there one last second adjustment that can help them to make up this gap? Or is it just simply they're just overmanned at this point and they can only do what they can do and hope shots go in?
So first thing I want to say is, what was Eric Spoelstra thinking putting Jimmy Butler on AD? There's a lot of height, length that is given up, a bit of like weight and strength also to factor in. Jay Crowder was doing a magnificent job guarding AD. Why didn't they like have him guard AD down the stretch for one? Like, I just didn't understand what the rationale behind that adjustment was. Having the Twin Tower suggestion, honestly, I like that idea. Maybe getting Crowder to jumpstart, the bench, playing that 6-man role / minutes.
Because that would allow Jimmy to switch back to LeBron.
Like I said, Jimmy should have been on LeBron. I'm just sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, like that genuinely confused me as a fan of someone who enjoys good basketball. Why would you switch the two? Someone who is physically bigger and stronger, about the same height as Jimmy. Why not have him on Anthony Davis? At least he can protect the paint a little bit more, by forcing AD out to play more of the perimeter game, not attack the rim as hard.
Right, good points. And I did notice that a couple times throughout the game. He was guarding him. Jimmy was guarding AD along the baseline, and AD was backing him in. And it may be just a situation where, we talk about LeBron is the best player on their team, but the best player in the series so far and the biggest scoring threat has been AD at times. So maybe Jimmy wanted to take that matchup just like he wanted to take the Giannis matchup. He was undersized in that one as well, but he wanted to guard the best player or the player that could potentially score the most points for Milwaukee, and maybe he wanted to do the same thing here. But Anthony Davis is just, I think he may not be as tall or he may be the same height as Giannis, but he is a little bit bigger, and he is a true post, whereas Giannis is more of a forward. And he can back down and hit jumpers where Giannis can't. So there's certain things that, Jimmy's not going to be able to defend if AD goes to the pull-up fadeaway or he gets position and is able to pop out for a short corner jumper. The height difference is going to be big there. Okay, so that is definitely something we want to watch for. See if they go back to that in Game 5 for whatever reason. I'm not sure that Miami thinks they have an advantage because obviously sounds like it's a consensus here that they don't. So Dennis, yeah, I'll ask you to respond as well. Anything you would want to see Miami do, or do you think LA has this locked up if they just play their game?
Like I said, the only way for the Lakers to be able to like close this game out in Game 5 is when all the other pieces get involved. I mean, the bench, Kuz, KCP, Danny Green, all those guys have to like come in. Markieff Morris also, they have to hit them shots. AD and Braun are gonna go inside there, and also Dwight Howard. They have to like play. Everyone has to like do something, contribute to the win. It can be solo squad for LeBron or AD because the Miami Heat was throwing. At some point, I was seeing the game. AD was being triple teamed every time. I just saw him. He just had to work for like all the points that he had. So, man, I don't know if Miami comes out again in Game 5. I think they might be able to steal Game 5, and the Lakers can close out in 6. So, yeah, that's what I think.
All right. And just to kind of get to a wrap-up question here. So, at this point, I think a lot of us may have kind of been already going in a certain direction, possibly have made up our minds, but I saw a tweet, and I just want to hear if you agree or disagree with it. Whoever plays better in Game 5, considering the Lakers win, whoever plays better in Game 5 between LeBron and AD receives Finals MVP. Agree or disagree with that? And I guess that tweet is coming from a place of that they've been pretty even thus far. AD has had his games, LeBron has had his games. I'm already seeing Mark disagreeing, but agree or disagree with that? Whoever plays better Game 5, considering Lakers win, gets Finals MVP.
Does Finals MVP doesn't it normally go off of only final games?
No.
Just games in the NBA Finals. The entire NBA Finals.
Then it's the games in the whole series. There's 7 games. You tally the stats,
Right,
then you see
right.
who's getting all the stats. So
Right. So it would be, but it's not the whole playoffs, right?
No.
Not the whole playoffs.
It's the finals.
Davis already has it. I'm saying if they win, Davis already has it. I don't think LeBron gets it.
Davis already has it. Okay.
Oh, I
Okay.
wanted to make one quick comment that I
Yeah.
noticed. So, talking about who needs to guard LeBron if possible, the next possible games to come. I noticed that the top 2 players that had a combined 2 blocks and 3 steals off of him were Jay Crowder and Butler. So those 2 players need to continue being the guards on LeBron.
Yeah, and if it's too tall of a task for any one guy, like you said, you could just cycle back and forth. And they're already switching and they're helping to begin with, because if you're going to play man on him, nobody can check him straight up one-on-one, with maybe the exceptions of Kawhi Leonard and maybe the exceptions of Kawhi and Giannis. Those are like the only, maybe KD. 3 guys in the league that could possibly check him one-on-one. But even Jimmy Butler, as great a defender he is, you're going to need to bring help, gets into the paint, clog up the lane, he backs down, bring weak side help, everything like that. So, Philip, I'll pose the same question to you. Game 5, I guess it comes off of the premise is, do you see Anthony Davis and LeBron to have been playing their performances to be pretty much at an equal level, that whoever wins, if the Lakers win Game 5, one of those 2 will get to Finals MVP based on how they play in that game? Do you think you would agree with that?
Honestly, that's a really tough question. I feel like personally it would go to LeBron James simply because a huge factor is stats. Let's just not sugarcoat it. Cut that. Stats are a huge thing, and obviously LeBron James is averaging more points now because of how AD was like shut down in the last game. So like that really tanked AD's point average per game, and like LeBron is sort of doing the more all-around things. He's the bigger name. If AD really goes off in the next game, I can see them giving it to AD, but for now, I'm gonna have to say LeBron has like the slight edge right now.
Yep, I definitely understand that, and I brought it up last live stream as well. One user on Twitter corrected me. I was saying this could be like a 2018 finals situation where you had Steph and KD. KD had the better all-around stat lines. Steph averaged more points per game. Steph actually did not average more points per game. KD was 28.8. Steph was 27.5. Reason being, to mirror this series, Steph had a game 3 in that 2018 finals. He only scored 11 points. It really tanked his stat line. AD, like you just mentioned, Philip, had a game 3 in this series where he didn't score his regular. I think he had like 15 points in game 3, and that really, dropped his scoring average. So you get the better of the two players already pre-decided, KD over Steph, LeBron over AD, plus you give him better stats. I can see why LeBron would win the finals MVP. Plus, it is based on stats, but it does fit into a larger narrative where this is going to be his 4th ring, and they probably want to follow that up with his 4th finals MVP. I'm not saying it should be like that, but it could follow into that mark. Yes, go ahead. You're raising your hand, sir.
So correction on Philip. It didn't tank his stats at all, and Davis currently has more points than LeBron in the postseason and has better shooting stats
For the finals.
for the whole postseason.
Didn't we sort of
Just
establish
overall, yeah.
Oh, it was just
Yeah.
oh yeah, that's right.
just the finals? I believe there is something on NBA NBAreference.com that will
Yeah.
show that actually.
That's true.
And to Philip's point, like it could not necessarily tank him like to where he's not averaging in the 20-plus point range anymore, but just below LeBron to where LeBron would have the edge scoring, plus you give him the rest of the stats, or just maybe at the same level as LeBron scoring, but LeBron still has the rest of the stats. So I hear you, Philip. Dennis, you want to comment on that? Who would you give the finals MVP to? Would you base it off of Game 5, or you think LeBron already has it locked up?
Okay, that's a pretty tough question at the moment. I don't have a defined answer for that, because you're seeing both players are dominating, but for some reason I feel LeBron is gonna get that 4th Finals MVP because of his legacy. It's gonna be a heated debate. I know LeBron fans are not gonna let AD get that award. They're gonna be like, we want LeBron to close the gap between him and Michael Jordan and the GOAT conversation.
Yeah.
So for that, LeBron has to get that Finals MVP no matter what. Even if AD has all the stats, no, LeBron has to get it. He must get it.
Yep, it all factors in, whether we like it or not, the grand narrative of things. Okay, I'll leave with one parting question here. So Jimmy Butler, the way he's played tonight, obviously not the 40-point triple-double, but tonight he had 22 points on 8 for 17. Another efficient night. He had 10 rebounds and 9 assists. And this is another thing, like, he's in such a tough spot because he almost has to get at least 30 a night and continue to post the near triple-double stats. I mean, 22, 10, and 9 is incredible.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't have the firepower around him for that to be, the stat that's going to help him win games. So after this series, regardless if Miami wins or not, could end on Friday, could end Game 6, whenever.
Yeah.
Is Jimmy Butler now in your top 10 players in the league? Would you put him top 10? Did you have him there before?
Jimmy, okay, he's a top 10 player. Look, let me go first. I can say Jimmy at the moment he's top 10. Or the top half to top 5, it's LeBron and AD. But when it comes to like the mid half, now we have Jimmy. Okay, I have to put some players ahead of him because we have.
So let's think for a second. Like, let me name off, and you guys let me know by a nod of your head. Or and Philip, if you disagree, you can speak up. So in no particular order, okay? Like LeBron, AD, Kawhi, KD, Steph. There's 5. After that, I mean, who are we putting after that? I know I'm leaving out some prominent.
Harden.
Yeah, top of mind.
Giannis.
Harden's in there. Giannis is in there. Yep. There's 7. So you have 7.
Yeah.
So now, where do we go
Kyrie.
from after that? I mean, Kyrie's got to be top 10 still, although he hasn't played for a long time.
I'd
Right
actually
there.
put Damian Lillard in
Oh,
that.
sorry,
Damian
D-
Lillard.
D'Lo would be higher than Kyrie, but
you're
Yeah.
forgetting Harden. You're forgetting the beard, Harden as well.
no, we already
we
had
put
it.
the
We
beard.
already
So,
had it.
so we put the
We
beard.
got
So
Harden.
with the beard and Kyrie and Dame and all the rest of the players that we mentioned before, we're at 9. So
Butler.
I'm thinking it's very fair for
It's-
Butler to fall at that 9 or 10 spot.
Yeah, I'd say
Man,
he's
I
top
mean,
10.
it ain't no Paul George anymore.
Yeah.
You
So,
can't put him in there.
so here's
No.
why.
Yep.
Here's why I have an issue, because the guy that kept the Raptors alive after Kawhi left and got them all the way to, what was it, the
Second round.
The second round,
Mhm.
I think is better than Butler, and that's Pascal Siakam.
Better than Butler. Well, yeah, the playoffs hurt him this year, but
He had a fantastic
I don't
season.
know.
He had a fantastic season.
At the same time,
that's a debate.
like to quote, I believe it was Bob Myers of the Golden State Warriors. He was essentially saying, the truly good players are the ones who show up in the playoffs when it really counts. And Pascal
Oh yeah, we're
Siakam
missing
did
we're
kind of
missing
fizzle
Clay
out.
too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Clay, and then another one. I'm looking at this list that I made back in May. This is mid-May, May 15th. Jokic, we forgot him.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
He's,
Oh,
he's,
right.
We're
he's
doing
got to
him
be a
dirty.
top 10. So this is okay. I know this is a while back, but this is what I had in order in mid-May. Now the playoffs have definitely changed some of this, but this is actually top 20, and I'm just going to read it off. And then at the end, if there's like a big objection that you have or something you think is really changed, you can speak up about it. So at number 1, this is back in May, I had LeBron, followed by Giannis, Kawhi, KD, Steph, Davis at 6. Now he may have moved up. Okay, Harden at 7, Jokic at 8. I think I'd reverse that now, considering what we've seen. Lillard, Paul George at 10, which we would have to put down now.
Oh yeah.
Embiid at 11, Luka at 12. Luka, that's another one we forgot. Shoot, he could be top 10. Who knows? Westbrook at 13, who I think we could definitely move down now.
Down.
Carl Towns, we forget about him. I don't know where he falls in this. Siakam, and then Butler. So I had Siakam 15, I had Butler 16 to speak to Mark's point. Now that might change just because of everything Jimmy's been able to do.
Butler.
Jason Tatum 17, Devin Booker 18, Brad Beal and Chris Paul to round out 20. So there's a lot of you might have to consider in the top 10 putting Luka. Jokic has to stay in there. So if they stay in there, man, who are you gonna move out? Like Lillard's got to move out to put Jimmy Butler at 9 or 10. It's tough. It's tough to make top 10. Definitely top 15 though for Jimmy, if you're asking me.
Okay.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Dang,
I'd put
there's so
Lu-
many good players now. Like,
Okay.
I'd put Luca like right outside the top 10. To be honest, I'd move playoff P obviously outside of the top 10. Jimmy Butler kind of climbed up with how he's like led
Yeah.
the Heat.
And to state something about my list, I'm just realizing this now, and I'd have to bump probably Brad Beal or somebody off here. I didn't even put Klay Thompson on this list. So obviously, Klay is top 20, but he's just certain guys have been out for so long that you just kind of forget. That's not top of mind. But yeah, top 10 definitely LeBron, Giannis, Kawhi, Durant, Curry, Davis, Harden, Jokic. Then you're left with Lillard, Butler, or yeah, if you're not going to put Luka there, then you get Butler at 10.
see, that's hard.
I think that could
I
very
think
well be
Luka
it.
already, personally, I think Luka's already peaked, or not peaked, because he's going to be like top 5 in like a year or two. But I think he's already in the top 10. Dang,
Yep.
it's so hard. Like,
I mean,
honestly.
Right now, I can say the talent pool is there's a lot of good. There's a lot of good players. So even the emergence of Jamal Murray. You see, like
Oh yeah, I didn't even have him top
Murray
20.
is
That's
Jamal
crazy.
15 for
That's
sure.
crazy.
Jamal Murray came out with a bang this postseason. I mean, even it's hard for me to even put him in the list because I'm like, who do I kick out of the list? I mean, I look at the stats, look at the overall game. It's kind of hard to like like put a top
Yeah.
20 because there's so many good players right now. So many.
I personally think Jamal Murray and Devin Booker are on the same level. We just didn't get to see Devin Booker play in the postseason. But I think if he would have played in the postseason, I mean, they would have had to face LA. They would have lost first round.
Mm.
But
Isn't that
like,
isn't that crazy? Was it sweep or did they lose one of their seeding games?
the Suns, no, they went 8-0.
They went
Man.
8-0.
That's nasty. Like,
They're the greatest
That's
team.
really good, yeah.
Greatest team ever, bro. Undefeated. I feel bad for Suns fans. All right, guys. So that was a good conversation. That's something we probably could have saved for after the finals, but might as well address it now since Jimmy has been playing so well. So we'll see. I'll go ahead and end this. I want to thank y'all for coming out here yet again, and we'll be back Friday night after Game 5. It could be a championship, or it could be the Heat playing spoilers. So
they
thank
playing
y'all
Friday
again for
or
coming out.
Thursday?
Friday. They get a couple of days off in between these next games.
Plus, you need that Friday night, revenue coming in with everybody getting off of work.
Man, do they hope, man. The NBA needs it, these ratings.
they've
But
been-
honestly, I don't know what to
Their ratings.
I don't know what to believe because the cable, like, is it just based on people watching on cable TV? Because so many people illegally stream and stuff like that. So
Like a lot of people are getting away with illegal streams. Like I don't know. I mean, they're able to like monitor like the attendance using like the ticket sales. But now they just I don't know how the NBA is collecting the revenue. I don't know if it's only League Pass. Are they doing League Pass only?
I don't actually know if
Well,
they count
bas-
League Pass numbers towards that viewership.
yeah.
Now that I think about it.
Well, basically, the only revenue could be TV viewership and merch sales. Like that's
Right.
about all they got right now.
Because for me, like sometimes I can use League Pass. Sometimes, like in this case, I had to use League Pass. The game is like what? For me, when I watch on League Pass, when I miss the game, I have to buy the game at $1. Like $1 in my country is like 100 shillings. So one game is $1. So I pay $1 for the game. So for the full game. So yeah.
So, one quick parting question, Dennis. When you watch the finals, is it still Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson commentating, or is it somebody totally else on your
It's
broadcast?
the same people. I mean, I see the same thing that you see.
Huh.
The same
I mean,
same
if he's
thing
watching
that.
through the app, so
I mean, let me tell you something, Josh and Mark. I mean, the same game that you see is the same game that I see. The same thing. Nothing changes. No commentaries. The same broadcast.
But they have it for
That's
other
cool.
languages, like
Yeah.
Spanish.
Like, yeah.
They even showcased it in like their ads, which I think is I don't think it's that fair. I think about it.
Like the only difference that we have between me and you guys is the time zones. We're like in different time zones. You see, like for me right now it's in the morning. That's why I went out, go outside a bit. But I think you guys it's at night. Is it at night?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. So that's the difference. Like the timings. Like for me, the game was like 4 a.m. today, so I was able to catch up with it quickly. So.
Bro, we love your commitment, man. It's because of your commitment that these live streams are better. Because you wake up, you put in the work. We're just staying up late. I don't really know how committed that is. It's just kind of what we all do.
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
So.
All right, guys. We'll go ahead and sign off. Thank you all for joining in again.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for tuning in to this Topic Tackle NBA Finals Game 4 live stream. If you did not make it out to the live chat and to the live Zoom, you can go ahead and leave your feedback, comments down below. I'll be back there to answer, or back down there to answer your comments and everything you have, feedback. Go ahead and leave a like. And thanks for watching Topic Tackle. We'll be back with more coming soon. Stay solid, people.